working on figuring out characters, personality types that are in Arc 2 or Season 2. Trying to figure out, I think once I figure out their personalities more, I'll be able to kind of like come up with like things that happen in Arc 2. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking. But for now, I just dive in and see what happens. Very fitting. Hello, everyone. Welcome. What are you working on today? I am working on outlining and trying to figure out my Arc 2 of my web serial. It is a solar punk novel set on another planet in the future, and it's got contemporary-ish romance in it. It's essentially about an empath chef that is transported to this new world, and it's kind of a mania planet, so everyone has heightened emotions, and her goal is basically to heal people with her food, but remain relatively unnoticed, and spoiler, she doesn't get her wish. So that's kind of the lowdown of it. Trying to find currently kind of the personality traits of one of the characters that shows up in Arc 2. I need to change him. What you up to today? What are you working on? Age at the beginning is, let's see, how old would she be after the time skip? Let's see, culinary school, how long? To 4 years, okay. Few short months to 4 years, depending on chosen length of culinary school. Professional culinary training can take 2 to 4 years. Okay, so she goes when she's 18, and she graduates. What is math? Math is hard. Of course it's 22. So she's 22 when she has her restaurant. ENFP. So if she's 22, Vern could be also maybe in that range, 23. And with our Sky City, and his personality type is ESFJ. What kind of ESFJ? ESFJ, 16 personalities. Alright, is he often to dwell on his regrets? I don't see him doing that. Find it easy to focus on the good things in their life when they're feeling down. Definitely think that's him. Slowly, effectively manage stress. Usually win the battle with themselves when trying to be disciplined. Welcome everyone. And let's see. I feel like this guy is going to be at ESFJ A. And I haven't figured out his background yet or any of those. What is his goal? That is very big lettering. I'll just write it out. Choose to be a waiter because I love the smiles of satisfied customers. He has to have some other goal, but that's what I have for him right now. You're an ENFP! That's great. I think I'm an INFP. I'd have to go to my personal. I always forget what I am. Let me see. I am my personal board. I am a INFJ. I always want to say I'm an INFP, but no, I'm an INFJ. I can't remember what an INFJ is. I think they're console. INFJ, where are you? Advocate. And you're an ENFP, so you're a campaigner. Those are fun. Yeah, I always like assigning character types to my characters because it helps me get a baseline of kind of how they would interact with certain situations and that kind of thing. Which is helpful, especially when I'm trying to figure out like a scene or something, and I'm like, how would this person react? And then if I know their personality type, then that kind of helps a little bit. Because then I can research the personality types and how they react to things. I mean, everyone's different, don't get me wrong, but a lot of things are stereotypical, but it's a baseline, so it can give me an idea. That's one way to do it too, yeah. Sometimes I find people are like a mixture of two personality types, so that can make things interesting. So sometimes I end up being like, you're kind of this personality type, but you're also kind of this personality type. And that's the reason why. But it at least gives an idea. I know there's like something called an Enneagram. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I haven't really done that with my characters at all. It's supposed to get even more detailed. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of personality types that you can try putting your characters in. I just stick to MBTI. But Enneagram, yeah, that. Is it Enneagram? No, it's gonna bug me. Enneagram, personality. Yeah, the Enneagram personality test. I know several people that use that, but I haven't really done that. I tried doing it for myself, but I got kind of a little confused, honestly. So it's kind of like they break it down for you, but I don't know. I have limited patience. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck on how I want my season 2 or my arc 2 to kind of work out. And so I have like the grand arc that I want, but I haven't figured out the nit and gritty. What are you working on today? I've had people that do music, art, all sorts of things. Some people cook dinner while they listen to my voice. Whatever works for you. Well, I'm glad I could be entertaining. My sound is getting a little interesting. Alright, that's great. Do you journal at all? I like journaling. Junk journaling specifically. I have like a couple spreads I need to do. I went to a concert lately and then I just went to Ren Fair today. So I have like a whole bunch, I have 2 things that I need to do. Yeah, that happens. I forget too. That's why I kind of like end up doing it more like a keepsakes of memories of days that I really took a lot of pictures, or so it's kind of like scrapbooking, but I don't know, it's a little bit of both. So, yeah. But if you are like me and it's hard to like do like the structured bullet journaling, I really enjoyed junk journaling because it's not so structured and it doesn't have to be perfect. Which, as someone that suffers from perfectionism, no, that's not the word. It helps. I'm just doing very stereotypical MBTIs for these people until I come up with another one. commander. She doesn't feel like a commander to me. Hello, everyone. Trying to figure out the MBTI for this character. I don't have a lot figured out for her. I just know that she is doing waitressing to support her school, and then she ends up liking it more than she expected. That's all I've got for her. So I'm kind of trying to, and her name, but I'm trying to figure out what's her personality. You know what? In honor of one of our peoples in the chat, or really the only person in the chat, Galaxians, I am going to make her an ENFP. That changes kind of how I viewed her a little bit, but I can work with it. I like this one. I think this one might be, she might be a turbulent version of the campaigner though. That's something that can change over time though. Consider themselves successful. Assertive campaigners say that they have a healthy ego. Assertive campaigners say they usually brush off a mistake when they make one. Turbulent campaigners say they are likely to be obsessive about little details when working on something. That works for this character. Consider themselves patient. Manage stress well. I think I'm a T as well for mine. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm a T. Find it easy to focus on good things when they're feeling down. Feel like they have control of their emotions. Yeah, she's a T. She's a T. Amy's personality is an ENFP-T. Indeed. It can be interesting taking the test for your family, and then they're being like, oh, this makes so much sense about whatever, how they deal with certain things once they figure out whether they're A or T of their personality type. She's definitely, of her personality type, I would say she's creative and supportive, and she can be playful when she breaks down. No, I don't say that. When her walls come down. Occupation, waitress. I can't spell, waitress, and student. I don't know what she's studying though. I always look up stereotypical, like, what careers MBTI can go into when I'm just, like, trying to brainstorm. ENFP careers. I don't know why it didn't allow that. Sorry. I'm still figuring out the different things, like on the thingabobbers and the back end, like the alerts and stuff. But I was, yeah. Oh, it does. See, I didn't know. My innocent brain didn't know that. I'll let it pass this time. Now I'm curious what it is. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't mind that word. It's fine. Yeah, I guess that works. For the longest time, because I do fan fiction on the side, just kind of like as practice, and also because I like fan fiction anyways. I know that can be a controversial topic, but one of the ones are BAMF, and I didn't know for the longest time what the F stood for, so I would put it on my, for like when I was talking about really like powerful women, I would put that, and it wasn't until later I knew what the, oh, my innocent little brain. I would say I stopped using that tag when I found out what F stood for, but and I just ended up calling it bad ASS instead. Maybe 19. And, oh, she's 18. And what's a good picture for her? I really like this picture for her. Oops. Drop. And let's see. Brown hair and a bob. And brown eyes. Playful smile when you get to know her. She's sporting. She's in Sky City. Coming up with those. Haven't figured out background yet. Goal. Just trying to make ends meet and pay off Question mark. Her and Vern? Question mark? Question mark? How would an ENFP and an ESFJ end up working out together? ESFJ and ENFP. Compatibility. I don't know what's going on with my sound. It's a little interesting right now. So 60. Nothing crazy going on. Don't know if that's helping or making it worse. Let's see. So they can work well together. Good working compatibility. Explore his options. You're back. I've been just pretty much stuck thinking about Amy and Vern's work relationship and if it could cultivate into something else and if that would be something that could have as like a small subplot. But I kind of feel like that's a little contrived. It's like they work together so they could end up together. Even if they're you can be compatible working relationship. Okay. Good. I'm sorry that it got too loud. I don't know why. The audio is a little weird today, and I keep on trying to like adjust it, and I don't know what's going on. Also not vibing with this song, so I'm gonna change it. I kind of, I like a lot of different personalities, but I don't feel like I get past surface level until like I've like talked, like had a deep conversation with someone. I'm definitely a more deep conversation person than small talk. I have a hard time with small talk, so. Actually, this is probably a good way of getting me to talk about things. Here. Doing, streaming. But sometimes I feel like we get deep about deep things. I don't know why my throat's getting all congesty. Yeah. Like, I love doing board game nights with people to get to know them, especially like funny games. There's a like family version of Cards Against Humanity, and it's like a really fun game to figure out like how like what each person's humor is. I enjoy that game a lot. You know, after someone makes a poop joke, you can't really go back from that. But I enjoy like RPG games and world building games and all sorts of games. But I enjoy it. I feel like card games and board games are like a really fun kind of segue, is that the right word? Of between like small talk and deep conversation where you can get to know other people. I have all these notes on the side of things that either I needed to do. Oh, I already figured out this one. Mostly. Thanks. Yeah, it's a lot. Well, I'm trying to write a web novel, so it's gonna be a lot of chapters, but I still don't think it's gonna be as many chapters as other web novels. Like other web novels are like over 100 chapters. I don't think mine's gonna get there. I think it's going to be maybe over maybe down here like in the 60s, just because it has really only 3 arcs, so I don't see it having more than 3 arcs, honestly, or 3 seasons, just because I don't think it would work with more. I mean, I feel like some web novelists could achieve it longer, but they're maybe more talented at stringing things along for a lot longer than I can. So, but it's still a lot of work. Yeah, the outline. Yeah, practice makes perfect. This is my 4th novel. I mean, I've completed 3. And I've had like numerous novels before that I've tried to start and then not finished. I used to be a pantser a lot, like one that just like writes and doesn't plan at all, but I found that doesn't really work for me. I tend to get distracted. I'm sort of published. I'm on Wattpad and Tapas. I kind of like trying to get a readership first through those platforms. Kind of want to build a community. My Villainous from the Stars, which is my sci-fi fantasy, is on there, and it's I can share the link if you'd like. It's being currently, it should have, where's my, whoop. I don't know why that's going there. Profile, Villainous from the Stars, Villainous from the Stars. I mean, I have links in my bio and stuff, but this will go straight to it. But, yeah, it's by, what date do I have the last chapter going to be uploaded? I've been uploading each day to get it done. Oops. Oops. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I am on, got 25 scheduled parts and 33 published. So by August 14th, all of my, there'll be a different date on Tapas because I started a little later on Tapas than I did on Wattpad, but it's updating each day. So it's one of my pride and joys. I really love that story. But yeah, that's a sci-fi fantasy. And then I have another one coming out that's another sci-fi fantasy. It's called The Flower Path, and that's coming out soon. I'm just waiting on my cover artist to be done. Which is my brother. He does pretty good art. He's starting out trying to get his portfolio all together and that kind of thing, so. But yeah, I don't have anything published like on Amazon or anything yet. It's a process, I feel like. I could go, the whole traditional route, but I think I prefer this way just because I really want to get a reader's community going. So that's my ultimate goal. What do I want to happen here? Excuse me. What is my arc for this? I know what some of my obstacles are. I have an idea. Transformational arc. But what do I want to happen? It's always hard for beginning. Beginnings are hard. Trying to figure those out. I need something to, it's like, wow, like an inciting incident. What is the inciting incident? I think the inciting incident is that Jet tries her food for the first time. Jet tries Hannah's food for first time. And this would lead to an obstacle because he gets a bit obsessed with it. And then, what do I need my beginning to be? Should I just make it simple? Should I just make it like various people's reactions to the food? I don't know if that's very good beginning or not, but I'll figure it out. Various people's reactions to food, including ML. He has lunch with sister. Business lunch at the restaurant at Hannah's. Reactions and plus ML business lunch, because we need to start introducing the ML here. And then what else? Episode 23. What needs to happen in between here? Maybe relationship with mother gets increasingly better. Park mom, this mom getting more invested again. Episode 24, we have Jet tries Hannah's food, realizes she has an ability. Gains his attention. Gains Jet's attention, which is a dangerous thing to have. Excuse me. E25. What do I need to happen? Hello, coffee quills. It is moving along slowly for Arc 2, trying to figure out how I want the arc to go. It's like a lot is supposed to happen in this arc, but also at the same time it's like sometimes when you know more is supposed to happen, suddenly it's harder to write what happens, if that makes sense. Inciting incident. It's I guess it would be a sci-fi. It's set in a solar punk world, in a futuristic solar punk world, and solar punk is like green energy kind of surroundings, and the story is basically. Thanks. It's basically about an empath cook that gets transported to a world where everyone has very heightened emotions. I call it a mania world, but they can get very fixated on things very easily. Anyways, and she basically just wants to heal with her food and remain unnoticed. And spoiler alert, she does not stay unnoticed. So that's basically the pitch for it. I'm throwing around trope ideas for it. For on my Instagram, I have the tropes as solar punk, empath female lead, grumpy / sunshine, foodie, crime / thriller, because there's like this subplot going on. Slow burn. Possibly I put Marriage of Convenience, but I'm going back and forth with that if I want it later on or not. Mania World and male lead falls first. So those are the tropes I have for Project Wallflower so far. So it's definitely different from anything I've written before, so that's terrifying. But we must try new things to continue improving our craft. And that is what I'm trying to do. She already got kidnapped at the end of Arc 1, so I don't want it too soon where she gets kidnapped again. Even though that's going to happen, I don't want it to be too soon after she's already been kidnapped. Because that makes her too damsel in distressy. Even though she pretty much got herself out of the situation where she got kidnapped in the previous thing, because she used her empath gift to get out of it. But I still am trying to figure out the best way to go about it. I'm just blanking out. Blanking. A little tired, yeah. It's been a long day. I went to Ren Fair, and that's a lot of walking, and it's hot. But it was a lot of fun. And took a nap when I got home, then went out to eat with my hubby. It was our full moon anniversary. And then came back home and I was like, I'm feeling great in what I'm wearing and stuff. And I was like, why not? Why not do a stream? And yeah, So here I am doing a stream. I'm sorry if I've been starting to sound tired. I was the goal was to go until at least an hour for this stream, so just a little bit longer. I keep on repeating to myself whenever I get stuck, what do I like to read? Over and over again. What do I like to read? I like to read a lot of interesting things, and there's a genre in web novels, and I don't like the name of the genre because it connotates something, but it's called face slapping. But it's basically where there's a revenge plot where someone regresses, they go back in time, and then they're try to make a better life for themselves and that kind of thing. And then there's baddies that come up and try to do not nice things, and so then it's kind of not getting back at them, but foiling their plans and stuff. And sometimes there is actual face slapping, which I don't like. I don't like physical violence. But I do like the whole foiling the plans kind of vibe. I like that. So there's a balance. And sometimes web novelists go over it, and I'm just and it'll turn me off. And then sometimes it's a thin balance of okay. And even though I don't have that revenge plot or anything like that, I was kind of thinking of doing foiling a plan's feelings, and I'm trying to figure out how to go about that properly. Because I want Hana to be I don't want her to be a damsel in distress, because that goes into almost Mary Sue territory. But I don't want everyone to like her either, because that's also Mary Sue territory. So I have to have some people that don't like her. Which, yes, flaws are good. She's definitely insecure, but not overly insecure. She's just more scared that she has walls around her kind of heart a lot, because she was used to manipulate people in the past, and she doesn't like that. So she doesn't want that to happen again, where people find out about her. Fatal flaws. Oh yeah, I like that, where they turn the best traits into potential flaws, where it's a little too much of a good thing, too much salt, and it becomes impalatable. I've been trying to think about that, what qualities she has that taken too far. I think her empath abilities kind of she tries to drown them out sometimes because they get overwhelming. So that can kind of let her miss things around her, that other people would. It's not that she's dense, it's just that I didn't want a dense female lead. I wanted her to be emotionally intelligent, but also wanted a reason why she might miss cues and that kind of thing, and it's because she's trying to block off her feelings sometimes, because they become too much. And that's kind of one of the internal conflicts I have. Excuse me. Where she needs to regulate and check in with her emotions regularly. And regularly means daily, all the time. Because she can easily soak in like all the emotions from everyone else, and it can like overwhelm her, which is, I feel like, very relatable, at least for me. Alright, I am going to see if there's anything else I can do, and if not, I think I might end here. What is her fatal flaw? What qualities when taken too far can be a detriment to her? Tumblr's good. Yeah, Tumblr has a lot of good resources sometimes. Yeah, I haven't checked in on Tumblr in a while, but I probably should. Let's see. What else? Huh, I haven't seen that. But yeah, the mirror twin is kind of, she goes through a portal in a mirror and switches places with a doppelganger. So it is like a portal fantasy in that way. Oops, booped the mic. So what qualities, when taken too far, can be a detriment to her? Who are her enemies? Who are against her enemies? I did have like a situation where her family found out the truth about her switching places, and that didn't go over very well. So they do eventually like gradually come back, but I did have that as a conflict, but that is kind of being already resolved at the beginning of season 2. I kind of wonder if I should have drawn it out longer. But I did want them to show up at the grand opening. Let's see. What do I want to happen here? Where's family? Malin. I already have that. Obstacles for Malin. Still need to have something figured out there. needs reason for party of episode 11. What happens in episode 11? No, it's actually episode 12, which I've already figured that out. It's a graduation party. So, figured that one out. That's done. When introduce cousin detective? That's a good question. I had him introduced towards the end, but I wonder if I should have introduced him sooner. Maybe, where is it? Intro to Bestie. Where did I have it? Why did I take away that bigger? Oh, thank you for the follow. Hello. How are you doing tonight? Or today? Or this morning? Wherever you are. Ah, no. Why did I do that? There we go. It's tonight. Okay. How are you doing tonight? Where was I? I wanted friendship, meeting and path, roles, intro to Liam. Where did I have parental units? That was number 11. Episode 11. Maybe I could also have a dinner night with fam, introduced to her older cousin. Okay. I still need to come up with a better name for him. Okay, so we introduced him. So that's done. Just trying to get ideas. Yeah. Do you ever go to Pinterest for ideas? I do sometimes. Like if I know the genre that I'm kind of like thinking of, then I like look up settings or personalities or characters and that kind of thing. Okay, so that, and then he talks about do cops talk about their cases? Or is there like, is that a breach of something? Does anyone know? Is that like a breach if like a detective talks about his story? Can detectives talk about cases with family? Okay. Just kind of like in this part where you're trying to figure out what happens. Yes, absolutely nothing anywhere says family has to be told about every aspect. Okay, not that. I meant... In short, yes, there's no confidentiality between you and an officer who arrested you. Unless court issued a gag order, the police officer is free to discuss what he needs to in order to advance the investigation. If you find out you are under... okay. A lot of things were... It says, well, often family is a suspect, so they don't want to reveal too much. Yeah, I'm more thinking like, can a detective talk to his own family about a case? Because I was thinking of having a section where like a cousin talks about. Okay, I'm going to say talks about case. I guess it just depends on the detective whether or not they talk about the case or not, if they're like private about it or not. Talks about a case that has him stumped. Okay. I was unclear about that. Yeah, that's what I was finding is about the unless there's a gag order. Yeah, that's true. Alright, I figured that out. When does Jay start killing? I think I had decided that it's when his parental figures disappear. So I'm going to take that one out because I figured that out. Should I do the gets tech accidentally thing? Maybe a cloaking mechanism? Maybe that could help her from being kidnapped again. Or maybe just being attacked because she like gets out of the way or runs away under a cloaking device, activating it. That could work because then it's like she's saving herself and it's not like someone saves her. That might work. I need to figure out why someone attacks her. Even if they have heightened emotions and they get fixated on things or they have slight mania, there still has to be a reason behind why they do things. What's the genre, if you don't mind saying, Superstar, that you're working with? Oh, that's fun. A fantasy comedy. Is it set in like a modern orc becoming a pro wrestler? That sounds awesome. Traditional fantasy setting. Okay. That, I mean, that makes sense because there's an orc, but sometimes people set those kind of things in more modern-ish. Ooh, steampunk. I love steampunk. That's one of my favorites. One of my first novels that I completed. Actually, no, the first novel I ever completed was steampunk. Modern. I thought it would be fun to set in a more traditional fantasy story, but have there be like some modern things like pro wrestling. Yeah. I've read, well, mostly it's manga, but manga or manhwas that have like kind of like a historical almost looking setting, but they have like things like holograms or transportation devices or that kind of thing, and it's just kind of like a unique way of doing sci-fi fantasy or fantasy. Yeah, consistency can be interesting when you're writing a novel sometimes. Probably gonna need them to have them invent fantasy TV at some point. Yeah, I guess that would make sense because they're pro wrestlers, so they need some sort of way of advertising, maybe? I mean, you could do banners and that kind of thing. And then you could travel around doing different pro wrestling at different locations and have like a caravan that he follows. Just throwing things out. But yeah, that would definitely be interesting. I have done so much research into pro wrestling and its history that I can go into a very long digression about why TV was very important to the development. I believe it. Totally believe that. I've seen some, once again, in manhwas or mangas, where they will have like orbs, like crystal orbs that kind of work as TVs or communication devices. That could be a possibility, because then it kind of has like a fantasy element, but could also transmit like video or that kind of thing. The idea right now is that she and her team are going to travel through different territories with like fantasy creatures and participate in their wrestling federations. Okay, that's cool. That's nice. I like the spin on the traditional archetype? Is archetype the word I'm thinking of? But in The Ring, she plays the villain. Okay. That does sound really interesting. That sounds fun. I could see how like the comedy would come into play there and that kind of thing. I think that would give you a lot of opportunities, kind of like to get more humor. Yeah, I mean, writing should be fun. It can be hard work, but I think at the end of the day, if it's not something that you would read, it's not worth writing. The opening. Beginnings. Beginnings can be a pain. Or is it the opening to the pro wrestling match? Nice. beginning of the story, okay. Do you have it starting like on an inciting incident, or is it more like an introduction? Because both work. I was just wondering if you've tried changing up the kind of like story beat it starts on. Because that can sometimes help. I know sometimes I try to do too much of an intro to like the new life that someone has, and a lot of people like start in with action. So it could go both ways, I guess. I just wanted to give an example of what her life was in the Orc village before she decides to leave to experience a new life. Kind of have that leaving home to start a new adventure kind of vibes. My neck is hurting. That is very true. You do need to know where someone comes from to know where they're going. So it's kind of like, I'm blanking out the words, like a legacy a little bit. Good night. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate talking with you. So it kind of like mimics real life that way. That's good. Because like readers will have that familiarity even in a fantasy world. I don't know much about the pro wrestling, but that does sound interesting. Yeah, I could see it. Kind of like the dynasties and the kind of legends of the families and passing down like this big I am blanking out tonight. Not responsibility, that's not the word I'm thinking of. Not task. Well, I think you get what I'm trying to say. So the basic story, Cody the Champion was Dusty Rhodes' son. Dusty was one of the most famous wrestling champions of the 70s, but he had a quite famous loss of fortune when the WWE came into existence, and Dusty swore that one day he would become the WWE champion and regain his honor. Wow. It does sound like those old houses, but he never did so. Cody swore that he would gain the title to Dusty on his deathbed. That's the kind of storytelling I want. I like it. Well, just the way you explained that was very, I kept reading, so it was interesting. Oh, wow. How long did it take him to do it? Like, how long was he in the business, or how long was he pro wrestling before he achieved it? Oh, wow. So it's like 18. Okay. I don't know what the average on that is, but that sounds like it was a big achievement. You learn something new each day. He had to defeat the Bloodline, which is the Rock's family, and Roxy, the younger cousin, Roman Reigns, who has his own history and is kind of a tragic villain. And see, one of Dusty's last attempts to grab the title was against Roman Reigns' father, and the person that Cody had to beat to get the title was Roman Reigns. Wow. It does sound like some classic tale of from olden times a little bit. You face the title with Kingdom. That's pretty much a fantasy story. Yeah, that's true. How long have you been working on this story? For about 6 months. Okay. I managed to write the first novella in about 2 months. I just had a bolt of inspiration, and now I'm dragging my feet on editing it. Editing is hard. I've yet to sit down and edit any of my books, which is really bad. I mean, I've done like grammar checks and like spelling check things. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done that. But actually sitting down and, you know, printing it out and like editing it, no, I have yet to do that. I need to do that. So it's a passion project, but like more than a passion project. It's like you've put in all this work for it, and all this idea planning, and it's like starting to come to fruition, and it's like you just want to like get into it and keep working on it, but it's kind of hard at the same time since you have been working on it for so long. I heard the best way to edit is to print it out and then do it from that way. Well, congrats. That is sometimes the hardest part, is like getting down and then writing it. It's just this. You can brainstorm for a while and dream about it, but then it's like when you get into the nit and gritty and like write it, that's quite impressive. Oh no, I don't mind at all. Like, I've been staring at the same thing for a little bit because I was having a hard time coming up. What am I working on? So the sales pitch is it's an empath chef that is transported into a new world, and the world is a futuristic solar punk planet. Where kind of it's a mania world where like everyone has heightened senses and heightened emotions, and her goal is to heal with her food and remain unnoticed. And spoiler, she does not remain unnoticed. That's the sales pitch. I want to write it as like a web serial, like a web novel. I don't think it's going to get as long as some web novels, but because I only can see it having like 3 seasons. But the first arc, just in outlining, has been about 21 episodes or chapters. And then, thank you. Yeah. And then I'm in season 2 or arc 2 right now, and I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, go for it. Well, there's like Wattpad. There's Royal Road. Royal Road does a lot of like RPG. There's Tapas. There's Web Novel. There's like an actual app called Web Novel. What's my preferred platform? Okay. I would say, I kind of use all of them but I find that for the Portal Fantasy, I find a lot of that either on Web Novel or Wattpad. Where do you go first? I'd probably go to Wattpad. And then I've recently stopped using Web Novel just because the way they support their authors isn't the most healthy way. Like, it's kind of predatory, and so I kind of like got turned off by that. So I don't use Web Novel anymore, but I used to. I'm just recently started getting into Royal Road and Tapas. But yeah, I would say Wattpad is where I start first. Yeah, it's really intense, and you can't get out of it. And they have rights to your stuff, anything you write, even if it's under another pseudonym, for like 50 years after you're dead. So it's a bit terrifying of a contract. I had my husband go over it. He's like, yeah, like some of these terms I could see maybe with a big publishing house, but even then it would be predatory. Yeah. So I kind of just decided not to support them in any way, whether it was reading or being on there with my web novels. So I took my stories off, which you can't actually delete the stories. You have to like take each episode off and delete them, and then like put in like a untitled name for the actual title of the novel. And like it's crazy. That's a lot of signs that it's not a good platform to be on. So that's why I tried to go to Tapas to try it out. I've just gone on there for Villainess from the Stars, my sci-fi and fantasy novel. So I don't really know how the readership's going to be on there yet. I had 2 people so far bookmark it, and I put it on there at the start of this month. So, well, like on Tapas, I have only 2 that have bookmarked it, and about 49 people that have read it. So I haven't really gotten much feedback on it yet. On Wattpad, I was a part of a book club for a while, so I got some reviews that way. Not where you trade reviews or anything like that, but where you're actually helping give like constructive criticism to like your fellow book club peoples. So I did that for a while, so I got a bit feedback that way, but just organic readers is a little harder. Especially for my genre, I think. Villainous from the Stars is like, it doesn't fall under reincarnation or rebirth. It's like a portal fantasy version of like reincarnation. It's not reincarnation, but it's like sci-fi, like downloading consciousness into like blank slates for a story. And so it was like, how do I categorize this? So that's been a little hard, but it's one of my love projects. I love Villainous from the Stars, but I have about, let me look up my stats. I have go to my Wattpad. I have on, with the like 31 chapters I have currently published, and I'm publishing each day until the completion, I have 104 likes, and you can like each chapter, and 957 views. So it's one of those things where I've heard other authors kind of you have to cultivate your community, and it takes time. I heard a lot of people going to Royal Road, but it's kind of hard to get onto Royal Road because, for numerous reasons. Oh, you're trying to decide how you want to go about publishing? Or sell it on Amazon. Yeah. Or try to get it published traditionally. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. That's important though. It's really important to believe in your idea, and like that's definitely a huge step in the right direction. Yeah, I feel that. But either way, you're going to have to, like, if you do self-publish, you'd have to market your book in some way. So, like, either way, you'd have to have some way of marketing your book, you know? Unless you went the traditional publishing route, and they usually do a lot of that themselves. I think. I think that's how that works. But yeah, if you self-published, you'd still have to market a lot. Yep, that's also what I'm kind of... Yeah, they used to do that. I don't know if they still do. I've heard even traditional published authors sometimes have to market their books on like social media, so I don't know. That's kind of my goal too. I definitely want to get an audience and like a reader community. I know some people that do Patreon kind of versions of web serialization where they release chapters, but that still makes me nervous, honestly. But what I'm doing is also scary, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a super big following on any of my platforms. I don't have enough to go live on TikTok, and I have very few on YouTube and Instagram. Instagram you can go live whenever you want to, basically. But it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, that's the dream, to get a successful Patreon. Yeah, that's the big dream, I think, of a lot of people. Or like those Kickstarters that get like yeah, I've seen several people do Kickstarters, but that's the thing, they have the audience, or they have the. Oh, nice. No, I don't think that's bragging. That's really nice. And can I ask, over what time frame was that? That's fine. Like, how long did that take you to get to that amount? That's really awesome. About a year. I have a hard time coming up with content that people want to see. That sounds really bad. I have a hard time coming up with like TikToks or something like that. That like the biggest views I get is like 700 views. I haven't ever gone over that. Sure, go for it. I'm always looking for advice. A lot of what I hear is to make unselfish content. So, yeah. Here's what I think. You should focus on making under a minute, like TikToks, Reels, and Shorts. Yeah. I have been trying to do that more often. I just haven't gone quite. I think what I need to do is, like, on a high energy day, just like get a whole bunch of drafts done and then post them when I can. What could I talk about for a minute? See, this is too niche, but I could talk about the Phantom of the Opera for a full minute. But that's not really have to do with my writing. To it. Yeah. I used to go on rants all the time to my friends, and they're just like, stop, Caitlin. That's a good tip. Good tips. Just talking about things. Okay. I do like that idea. I will make a list of things that I can talk about. I'm always late to trends usually. Like, I'm one of those people where like I end up liking something way after everyone else liked it. But sure, go for it. I am looking up right now. I will definitely check it out when I'm not filming by having a separate tab.
You guys curious how my art's been going?
Whoop. So talking about your artistic process, that's cool. Popular. Okay. I'll definitely investigate. Don't worry, I'm not offended at all. I really like film tweets. Okay. Okay. That's smart. I like that. I definitely have been trying to think about what my ideal reader is because I've been told that to make content that is like geared towards my ideal reader. So I've been trying to think about what that is. An empath chef, yep. Okay. I'm actually going to write this down right now. Yeah, other Portal fantasies. Film struggles. Writing process. Niche. Fandom. Stuff. Photo. I don't cook, no. I do bake. I do bake on occasion. But I could do possibly like my mishaps in the kitchen. Slash baking content. Few stories about chefs. That's really good advice. Thank you so much, Sean. No, I haven't. Mm-hmm. Components of novel, like Portal Fantasy, chess, empaths, etc. And review. I've got a nice list going. Mm-hmm. Kind of like figuring out the tags that work for me and that kind of thing. Also training the algorithm too, to go kind of to bring the people to me that I'm trying to reach to. Ah. Train SEO. So first search and zip with chef Portal Fantasy or Portal Fantasy is me. Okay. Thank you for all these tips. Like, I really appreciate them. Like, I literally wrote them down on my notebook. I have a notebook for all my things that I need to remember for streaming and, like, things about what my viewers like and that kind of thing. You should! Thank you. I really appreciate the advice, and it helps that it's coming from someone that's seen growth, you know, during a certain amount of time, trying those very same things, you know? Sometimes I feel like the people giving the tips haven't actually tried the things that they've said, but it sounds like you have, which is really helpful. Isn't that the goal of every job, is like exactly. Excuse me. Goes back to finish short story. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna write down a note for getting stuck. Make video about it. Make video about it. Exclamation mark. Sure. Go for it. I've done that. And then kind of see what's coming up in that genre. And then review all the popular ones. That's smart. I like that. It's like I'm going to be probably reading them, a lot of them anyways. And then it's just like, use that. Kind of supporting the smaller creators too. Support community. That is true because like well, I've got some good notes for later. Oops, what did I press? Oh, that scared me. I thought I pressed something weird. Whew, I was just like, thought I deleted something that scared me so bad. Oh, that was a little scary. I have not. Is it a movie? Or is it just like a video? I have not seen The Bear. TV show about a chef. Oh, okay. The Bear. Interesting. It's on Hulu and Disney. Well, I have Disney, so I will check it out. I will definitely look into that. American comedy drama television series. Scary that it's Fox because Fox is known for canceling good shows. But I will definitely give it a chance. Well, I really appreciate all your good advice today, and I wrote it down. Super intense. I'll have to see it. I might have to take it in small little bits here and there then. I think it is. I definitely will put it in practice and see what happens. I think I'm going to end it here for tonight. I was originally going to only do an hour, but we had such a good conversation, and I really, really liked it. But I'm not really getting anywhere else with what I have right now, and it's getting later at night too, so I think I'm going to call it. But I had a lovely time. I shall look you up. I have pulled you up. You do drawing. I shall follow you right now. Followed. It's all about building a community, isn't it? All right. Well, good night, and thank you for joining me.